missed y'all yesterday. Y'all know I was healing. I'm still a little sore, but I don't have much of chapter 2 to do, and we're about to get into the weekend, and I didn't want to leave it undone before we start a new week. Okay? So here I am. Oh, child. Oh, if you like the shirt, you can order it off of my spring page or my Etsy page if you like the shirt. And all my links are now located under my LinkedIn page for easy access for you, all in one spot. I hope you all have been having a wonderful week. I'm just going to show you the shirt real quick. That's one of them. And I do have bags to match. And for those who would like decorum, I also have, I've got cute bathroom decorum for you divas. Yeah. If you want like shower curtains or wine glasses, bath rugs, things of that nature. Different styles and variety as well. All right. I made me some pineapple juice and peach tea. So I'm going to be sipping on that while I talk with you for a few moments. Okay. And I'm country. I don't mind drinking out the glass. Although I do have a little coffee mug to keep cold. I do have my jar with me. Okay, the myths about money is what we were covering. We have covered quite a bit. Okay. Let's discuss myth number 3. Oh, I got my first coins from Amazon Merch on Demand. Awesomeness. And the merchandise is now on my Amazon influencer page. And then I have done a few other, I've completed graphic design on some pages on for one of the businesses since then. Last business. So it's been pretty busy. All right. Myth number 3. It's impossible to reach or become wealthy if you are an employee. Does this mean that the vast majority of non-entrepreneurs have no way of becoming wealthy or financially independent? Hello, Love Tuber. Describe how, through following a disciplined plan of spending and saving, anyone can become financially free, even if it might take longer than for a business owner. Peter Lynch was the most successful investor in history. He built the Magellan Investment Fund, a multi-billion-dollar fund, and then retired wealthy. He said these wonderful words: "It's not timing the market, it's time in the market that counts." Well, I needed to hear that. If a person buys shares of stock in a mutual fund or index fund, they're actually becoming owners. because each share of stock represents a percentage of ownership of that company. 10% of self-made millionaires are people who worked for another company all of their lives. They worked really hard, were paid well, and they saved their money. They took advantage of deferred compensation plans, 401ks, and Roths, and so on. They put their money away and they let it grow. The reason people don't retire financially independent is that they spend everything that they earn. Then they start to get a little bit desperate because they don't have much money saved up at the age of 50. And they start to try to play makeup ball by throwing whatever money they have or that they can borrow into some get rich quick scheme, which inevitably fails. The only ones who get rich from get rich quick schemes are those who sell them. So people become desperate. The fact is that a person who saves $100 a month and invested in an index fund or a well-managed conservative mutual fund will find that it grows at about 8 to 10% per year over time. And at $100 a month over the course of a person's working lifetime, they'll become a millionaire. The numbers are really interesting. They say of 100 people who start work today, 1 will be rich, 4 will be well off, 15 will be financially independent, and the other 80 will be either broke, dead, or still working when they reach retirement age. Whew. Why is it that, I need a pen. Bam. Why is it? Why is that? It's not because they didn't make enough money. I had a great experience some years ago. I was giving a seminar and talking about how anybody can become wealthy if they start early enough, work hard enough, stay late enough, and so on. People were gathered around me at the break asking questions, and a mentally and physically challenged young man came up. He said he was mentally and physically challenged. He shouted, "Mr. Tracy, Mr. Tracy." The others quieted down. He said, "Can I be rich too?" All eyes swiveled toward me. He said, "I work in a group home and we repair furniture. They pay us and I save $100 every month. If I do that, can I become rich too?" I had looked at these numbers the day before and had seen that if you saved $100 a month and invested it in a conservative mutual fund for your entire working life, it would be worth more than $1 million when you retired at the age of 65. This don't sound like living at all. I repeated those numbers. I said, yes, if you were to save $100 a month throughout your career, when you reach the age of 65, you will be a millionaire. You'll be wealthier than all of these other people walking around and driving cars and flying off on vacations with few advantages in life, with few advantages. You will be a millionaire. Okay, myth number 3. It's impossible to reach your financial goals, let alone become wealthy if you are an employee. I want to make sure I reread that. Okay. Let's continue. Remember that a person who starts early enough and stays long enough and doesn't touch the money gets into the miracle of compounding. Time in the market. You don't have to be a company owner. You don't have to be an entrepreneur. You can just invest in other stocks and be a small owner of a small part of many different companies that are well managed, run by experts, and you too can become financially independent. We'll start here. The next myth number 4. Put 4 here. Most wealthy people live in expensive neighborhoods, drive luxury cars, and spend lavishly. Well, I know from my former employee, that's not true. He drives an older car and don't hardly spend no money, and he's rich as I don't know what. The groundbreaking research of the millionaire next door exploded this myth, showing how most wealthy people live in middle-class neighborhoods, drive standard cars, and are often frugal. Then who lives in these high-priced places and drives these new luxury cars? Let's discuss the difference between wealth and income. Ooh, where do you strike a balance between the two ways of living? I was watching a video the other day on lifestyle. One of the ladies said she wanted a high value man because of the type of lifestyle she's seen several, with. She was near the Buckhead area of Georgia, but didn't live in the Buckhead area. But she seen what they had and was wanting that lifestyle, even though she didn't come from that type of lifestyle. So, wealth and income. Let's dig in. Brian, the last one was there. There are three parts of life. You have your learning years, your earning years, and you have your yearning years. Ooh, baby. Learn, earn, this is going to be good. Today, of course, we say that your learning years go on forever, but your yearning years are where you work hard and accumulate money and put that money to work. So at a certain point, you reach a crossover where you have invested money in earning more than you are. That's the point you start to gear down and you begin to gradually fade out of working for maybe 5 or 10 years. Then you can just manage your money carefully and live comfortably for the rest of your life. Well, that normally doesn't happen in today's society. That's why we have the 1% and the 99%. But we are reading. Okay. We put a little look here. I'll come back to that later. Most entrepreneurs have the characteristics of ambition, which is another way of saying that they're hungry. And the reason that they are hungry is that they came from backgrounds where they didn't have a lot. They say that whatever you felt you were most deprived of as a child is what you will strive for most as an adult. It is almost like a deficiency need. It's validated in psychology. They usually felt they were deprived of enough money, so they are really hungry to get money. They find that starting a business and selling stuff and working hard is the way to get money. The question is, when is the crossover time? A banker friend of mine was talking about an entrepreneur who had come in and wanted to buy an expensive house. My friend said that you can always tell when a business is going to get in trouble. The business finally starts to earn a profit. Number one, trouble. The owner of the business decides it's now time to cut loose. Number two. They buy an expensive car. Number three. They finance it through a bank. Ooh, honey. Number four. They buy an expensive home. Number five. They finance it through a bank. Number six. And you can tell they're going to get into trouble because they start to spend too soon. That was the summary. Then, of course, recessions and depressions and ups and downs in industries in the economy take place. The company takes a dip, the cash flow is cut off, and the person can't make their payments. The car company takes back the car, and the bank takes back the house. This bank also required a minimum 20%, so they had a very good collateral cushion so that the person could come up with the money, which they would would do by extracting it from the company, then they would lend them the money and they would just take the house back in the next downturn. Man. This explains why these businesses around here cutting folks left and right. One of them. My breakup friend said, the time to start buying the house, the time to start spending is after you've gotten well over the hump. Got to get over the hump. And you're financially independent. And you can start investing your excess. Excess. This brings us back to a little story about Warren Buffett, which is actually who I was talking about. He don't buy hardly. He ain't buying no new cars or nothing with his money. When he came back from college at Columbia University to Omaha, Nebraska with his wife, he was able to buy this one little house. It cost $25,000 or so at the time. He still lives there today. Yep. He's the third richest man in the world. Well, he was, because I believe I checked last week who the richest person was. I don't remember off the top, but I do think he was still in the top 10. Anyway, either way, whether he's the top one, the last one of the 10, or somewhere in between in the top 50, he's rich, okay? According to Forbes, but he still lives in a little house, never went anywhere else. He said it's not a good idea to spend your money too soon, so he got into the habit of investing all his money and never spending it. Today, he's the most successful investor in history. Put a 411 here. Oh, he invested all his money. The critical thing is timing. When you have enough money put aside so that if you bought a home, if the whole world went to hell in a handbasket, which it will, you'll still be capable of making your payments, taking care of your standard of living, providing for your family. But if you do it too soon, you'll run the risk of having an unexpected event take place and losing it all. That is very true. Critical. Dan. Here's another myth that seems to be catching on. Okay. As evidenced by the rise in internet gambling, myth number 5, you can get rich by playing the lottery or winning a jackpot at a casino. Brian, I know that you are passionate about this particular myth. Discuss why this is so pervasive and how one could take the same money spent on these sure-to-lose methods to become wealthy in scientifically proven way. Brian, the something-for-nothing disease, is like a cancer. It seduces very subtly, and one subtly way is with $1 for a lottery ticket. Striving or trying to get something for nothing destroys the soul of an individual who does it. It is a cumulative disease. It starts to consume the mental and emotional body. I just came back from Las Vegas. I was there for 2 days. I stayed in 2 casinos. I walked through the casinos back and forth for a substantial amount of time because it's designed that way. You can't get to your room without going through a casino and passing the gaming table and slot machines. I never spent a quarter in Las Vegas because it is fundamentally wrong in my philosophy. And it's not because of the amount of money involved. Intelligent people don't gamble because they know it's fundamentally wrong. First of all, nobody ever wins in Las Vegas. Okay. If you win, you get photographed and banned from the casinos. Dang, I've never been to Las Vegas. I had no idea. Hello, Love Tuber. It's not even a secret. If you're a professional gambler and you win, they'll soon photograph you. They can sit there in what they call the eye in the sky and they can watch you. If they see you winning money, they can start to check you out against all the other casinos. They check your photograph against Atlantic City, Monte Carlo, If you want money in another casino, they all share the same information. It's like a credit check. That's what I'm going to compare it to. Nobody wins money in Las Vegas. They only delay the amount that they lose. If you're lucky, you can take longer to lose all your money before you leave, but it still destroys the souls of the people. I read once a travel article in which the author said, I have been to hell and back in the last week. Oh, and it's a place called Las Vegas. Well, I've never been to Las Vegas, but maybe I don't need to go because I don't need to go to hell to Las Vegas to experience going to hell and back in a week. Lord have mercy. Unless you don't gamble, then I guess it would be safe. He said that he has seen the most miserable and unhappy, unkept, dirty, smoking, tractor cap, undershirted people in the world wander to the casinos and see overweight men and women gambling away their kids' lunch money. My God. And their food money, and their toy money, and their bicycle money at the tables. He said, and the looks on their faces are looks of despair because now they've put their money in and they've lost their money. They can't get it back. It sounds like a bill. Oh, okay. All right, honey. I have wrapped it up for right now for my room time. Hello, love tuber, darling. And I'm going to get on out of here to let the other person and allow them their time in the room. But I'm going to go out here and I'm going to finish the rest of this in the lobby.